Yo, yo, yo. I don't know why that did that. One sec. Ooh, oh, so my bad. Okay, just, yeah, okay. 1 minute. I had to make sure I took my pill. Biotin helps your hair growth. I got it right beside my bed. I just remembered I didn't take it today, so I was like, we can't miss today. We've been going straight since July 19th, so I don't want to miss not one day. Can't be like I'll do it tomorrow. Nah, we do it today. Um, bro, I want to make it on this YouTube thing, man. Um, like when I'm like 24, I want to be like making like 1,000, maybe even 1,000+ dollars on here. I know we can do it. It's crazy how my iPad worked. It was at 80, like probably a few hours ago. Now it's at 20. And my stuff be going down. I be doing like hour streams. And that do make sense. It's like, come on, you was on your iPad for a whole hour. It don't just be 1 hour. Be like sometimes be 40 minutes. Sometimes it's an hour. Sometimes it's another 40 minutes. Cause I be streaming. I be one stream, next stream, next stream, next stream. But anyways, let's get into this stream. We don't actually have the video on here that we want to watch, so we're gonna actually look it up. I'm gonna look it up. We're gonna look up how to do a fade. I need to do one on my hair. I usually know how to do it, but I don't know. I want to see somebody, maybe a walkthrough. Okay, 6 minutes. How to haircut for beginners. Usually, when I'm cutting my hair, I'll watch.
With back to school season, Grammarly is a student essential you need to download.
How
So they currently have a
do
50% off promo sale for
haircut
students
while
if you
I'm
upgrade to premium. And here are 2 reasons why.
hair. I don't know. If you ain't good at multitasking, I won't suggest doing it. But if you are, I don't do it at the same time. I'll watch them do one thing. I'll pause it. I'll do the same thing, and then I'll go back.
And we're back with another tutorial. Today we got my boy EJ here on the chair, and we're gonna be going down the steps on how to do a mid fade. With that said, guys, if you're not already subscribed, please go ahead and do so. We do drop tutorials here on a weekly basis.
Yeah, I'm gonna let mine go in at least one or maybe until next Monday.
Happy to announce that we finally started
or
our Spanish
Sunday.
channel. Para todos los que nos han preguntado al final
Or,
del canal de Fade Culture en español,
wait,
el link
maybe
está en
two
la descripción.
because I want my
First tip
hair
I
to
have
go
for y'all
in
guys
on
is if your client comes in with any bed
my hair
hair
to
or
go
hat hair,
maybe
you always
to
want
here.
to wet it and blow dry it to
And
neutralize
this
it to
this
its
to go.
normal position.
I want to get that
Go ahead
square
and start
line.
with the number 6.
Like it starts at the eyebrow and it
closed.
stops at the other eyebrow.
One thing I do want you to make sure of is that you recomb the hair after every few strokes and you go over the top as many times as possible. You always want to make sure that the top is clean cut. You don't want any frizz sticking up from the top. Just a heads up, this is where I would start my low fade. I start my mid fades right under that temple peak area and my high fades a little bit higher than that temple peak area. For now, we're gonna go ahead and debulk using my 1.5 guard lever completely open. And the purpose of debulking is so when I come in and set my initial guideline, it's gonna be as clear as possible. So for our first guideline, we're gonna use no guard lever completely closed. And we're gonna start, like I said, right under that temple peak area. Go ahead and take that all around and make sure that your guideline ends up at that same temple peak area on the opposite side. To continue, we're gonna go ahead and open up the lever completely open and take that up about a 1/2 inch or so. Now with the one guard lever still in that fully open position, we're going to repeat the process. Just make sure that your guide line does run parallel to the one underneath so your fade is even throughout. And continuing the process, we're going to go ahead and slap on that 1.5 guard. Again, the lever is going to stay completely open as we're setting up the canvas with these guidelines. Now with the number 2 guard, just take note how I'm flicking out from the parietal ridge area and I'm not digging in. Now with my number 3 guard, go ahead and continue the process. And the last guard that I will be using is the number 4. And go ahead and finish connecting the sides to the top. We went in numerical order with the lever completely open to set up the canvas. By now you should have 2 guidelines. The first one that we started with the lever closed, and the second.
I want to plan it out because I want to get that spot.
Go ahead and start with that second one and work our way down. Using my half guard, I'm gonna go ahead and close the lever just slightly, putting it into what we like to call a 3/4 position. It's basically somewhere in between halfway and fully open. Just take note that this step is creating a faint line right above it. So now I am going to come in with my 1 guard, yet leaving that lever in that 3/4 position and just pick at that faint line right above it.
Get paid at 19.
And if you need to, go ahead and use the corners of your clipper so that we don't take this line up any higher than we need to. Most importantly, just take your time, especially if you're new to using the corners of the clipper. Now we're left with the last guideline, which is the first one that we created. It's going to take a 3-step process.
I guess we'll get it to 19.
And I'm going to show you how I break this 3-step process into just sides of the head. I'm going to focus just on the left side of the head.
We want to get that spot.
Notice how I started with the lever closed and now I have the lever halfway
which is
open. And finally, I'm going to go ahead and open up that lever completely.
So we get it on
that line,
which will be Thursday.
About a 1/4 inch up or so.
Yeah. I ain't doing that.
Here how I am using just the corner of the clipper to continue that blend.
I don't know if I'm gonna get any clippers.
Same 3-step process. Just go ahead and.
I would just need guards, unless you gotta get the
finish
clippers.
it off by just focusing on the right.
With the guards.
Again, use those corners to get into the tight areas without having to take the fade up any higher. Now at this point, I always recommend you take a step back and view your client from the mirror just to get a better look at it. And go ahead and start picking out at any dark areas. I like to use my half guard.
I don't do
lever play as this always varies.
Guards.
And when you're done with that,
there's a way to do
use your
that.
Trimmer in a forward position to get closer to the scalp. Turn it around and remove that faint line that created. By doing that, you should have this faint line that you see right here, and it's going to be used as our guideline for our electric shaver. A tip that I do have for this faint line though is when you approach it with your electric shaver, go ahead and turn it around as if it was a pair of clippers, using mainly the corners of it to attack that. Now I'm going to use some spritz, which is basically hairspray, to lock those bangs down.
I think you want to do the hairline
edge up. And while that's drying, I like to set up my razor. I will be using our very own Faded Culture Platinum razor blades, which you can find at fadedculture.co. The link is in the description, guys. Thank you in advance to all those who have supported and been supporting. Go ahead and snap off the end so I can slide it into my Turkish style razor. And for the edge up, I always like to start in the middle and work my way to just one side.
I like to start at the side.
From the middle just to recalibrate to make sure that you are going straight. Grabbing my Faded Culture shave gel, which you can also find at fadedculture.co. A tip that I do have though for any shave gel is go ahead and apply a little bit of water after you apply the gel. It's going to go ahead and just preserve the life of the shave gel to make sure it doesn't dry out. Start by shaving with the grain and using your thumb to help stretch out that skin, and follow that by shaving against the grain. Go ahead and dust off your client. I always like to clean them off before applying product. Just make sure that if you are adding any pomade that you are emulsifying it as much as possible so you don't leave any clumps of product in the hair. Finishing it off with a little bit of hair enhancements, and here's some before and after pictures for comparison. I hope y'all really enjoyed this tutorial, guys. I hope y'all took something new. As always, let us know down in the comments any future haircuts y'all would like to see on this channel. As always, if you're not already subscribed, please go ahead and do so. And I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.
Okay, that was a nice video, y'all. Thank y'all for watching. I'm about to get into another one real quick. We could